How would you like to do your homework by listening to music? Now, I know you already do your homework while you're listening to music, but I mean, what if the music was your homework? What if you were a climate scientist and you wanted to find the largest volcanic explosion during the last 110,000 years? Could you hear it? What if you were a planetary scientist studying Mars and you wanted to find the place to land your spacecraft to study climate change and find water? Could you listen to the surface music to help guide your decision? What if you wanted to study the sun, but you couldn't see? Could you hear the sun rotating through chords of music? What if you were studying Hubble imagery and you wanted to, could you see everything in that image? What if you could hear more than you could see? And if you were studying interplanetary space, could you hear the ribbon of energy that stretches across the bubble of our solar system? I believe the answer to all these questions is yes. I am a sonification researcher, a computer scientist, and a musician first. But you could also call me a synesthesiologist. Now, synesthesia is where people have their senses a little mixed up. They might hear colors when they see things, or when they hear things, they'll see colors. When they see colors, they'll hear things. When they touch something, they'll smell something, or if they see words, they might smell something. So not everybody has this, but I've developed this sense of synesthesia through my work, through creating software that can turn whole systems of variables into a symphony. And for me, it's about augmenting cognition, learning more about things by, instead of always seeing them, by hearing them as music, which we love and has so many qualities to map data onto. But it also may be useful to those who are blind. It looks like it is. So that's really exciting to me, and I've had a chance to work with the blind across the country, introducing them to some of these ideas. So to prove my point, I'd like to give you a quick tour of some of the projects I've worked on over the years. So why don't you roll the next slide, which actually I can't see for some reason. The Climate Symphony. Coming up is the biggest explosion, volcanic explosion, in 50,000 years. Louder? There it was. Beautiful. My favorite latitude on Mars. Here the surface is turned into measures of music. Every month becomes a measure of music. The water is the melody. Tides of Venice. Every day goes by in 20 seconds. Don't go to Venice in November 2002 during a high tide season. Here we hear the tidal level as the strings, the flutes the direction of the wind, the French horn the temperature, the sitar volume is the velocity of the wind. Oh, and the drums tell you the air pressure and change the scale of all the other data elements. Cluster spacecraft, 4 of them, as they cross the magnetic bow of the Earth. What happens when they hit the bow? Listen to that. 59 data variables. Here's the sun, rotating 50 note chords from 50 pixels down the middle of the sun. The hot spots become higher pitches. In the Hubble image of deep space, can we hear more than we see? Yes. Watch the instruments and colors pop up that you don't see with your eyes. Each line is a chord of music, like a 300-note chord of music. Reminds me of Contact, the movie. Jodie Foster listening for the structure. now, IBEX, the Interstellar Boundary Explorer. Here are the sky maps played as a score of music. Down and up. There's the ribbon, which changes based on the energy of these energetic neutral atoms, they're called. And then some imagery. As a result of my work with turning images into music, I've also become a visual artist. It stimulated my color, my interest in color and imagery. So now I've had a chance the last 4 years, 5 years, to work with NASA data from the Stereo Space Mission, that mission of the sun rotating. I got a grant to create an exhibit called Walk on the Sun, where you could literally walk on an image and hear it as music by your body motion with a camera, like over here on this stand, that will track my motion and turn it into music based on an image that's, think of it as behind me, the image, and as I move, I'm moving through the image. So I'm going to turn on now an image, not of Hubble, not of stereo, but of Rousseau's Sleeping Gypsy. And let's listen to some of that and the sky of the painting, the famous painting. Here's the moon in the painting. So hear all those guitars? It's smooth. But there's change. So the mind may think it sees blue and say, oh, that's blue sky. But actually the blue sky is actually a color gradient that is beautiful, maybe a melodic change. So compare that to so compare that to Starry Night by Van Gogh. Here's the sky in Van Gogh's painting. How many more textures is it? How many more instruments? Let's go to the moon over in his painting. It's a lot bigger. So we can use the music to identify and hear the pixel data. What else can we do with it? Can we hear location? So in this next image that you won't see, I'll describe it to you. You see colors going from dark at the bottom to light at the top. You won't see this, I don't think. You're not seeing this, it's only on my computer. So the colors go dark to light from bottom to top, and then side to side. So it's strips of color, and each color, oh yeah, that's right. So we can see it. Next slide. Go one back. Okay, so this is how an image becomes music. Different colors become different instruments, and the brightness becomes the pitch. So that's what you were just hearing in the two paintings. So now let's go to the next one and play that. So this one is a demonstration of moving through a designed image for the Children's Museum in Dover here, for the Build It Fly It contraption, where things are falling through this central area, and because of their flying, they're being tracked with a camera and turned into music. And I'm just moving, so imagine things flying, but I'm moving, triggering the music. it's pretty expressive of motion. Now, what if you could tell where I was at based on the sound? Or where an athlete is at based on the sound? So you can stop that one, go to the next image. So now we're looking at this, now we're hearing different instruments left to right tell you where I'm at on the stage. Piano, vibraphones, plucked strings, banjo. So different instruments depict where I'm at. Now, the height of where I'm moving, low, higher. So if you do a repetitive motion, you can hear it. Idea, right? It's fun. Thank you. I've had kids spend hours dancing in this. I've had a blind person, a person who is blind who moved more than she ever moved before. I've had a lady in a wheelchair tell me, "You made me feel like a ballerina again." And, you know, those kind of moments, you think, yeah, I should continue this work. You know, every time I meet with those who are blind, I feel more motivated to continue. So, how now can we hear the size of what's moving? So let's turn that on. So I'll turn off this image. So now if I make myself small, just the hand moving. It's a high pitch on a guitar. And the width is being turned into a shaker sound that changes based on if it's more thin than wide. And the speed is a woodblock. The volume of the woodblock is controlled by the speed of the pixels that are moving. So if I make myself small, it's high pitch. If I make of the bass drum, of the bass guitar, and if I make myself big, it goes down in pitch. So the bigger things make lower music. Turn both things on. So imagine on the gymnastics routine, the gymnast moving through space 40 feet wide with 3 cameras on them. You'd hear this multi-dimensional music. I can't wait. I can't wait. So now there's one other thing I'm working on, which is taking the whole image and turning it into, well, first of all, let's do a little experiment. Let's turn back on just move your arm. Oh, hang on. Oh, what's going on? What did I do? Try that again. Move a little more. There you go. So let's see if we can get a wave going across the rim. As I move my arm like this, why aren't I hearing more? Hang on. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, we should get that. Okay. So maybe you make your motion a little bigger. Maybe even stand up as the wave happens. How's that? There you go. So wait. So from one side to the other side. Ready? We raise up my arm. Here we go. There you go. You got it. You got it. You got it. So I'm excited to tell you also this is going to be used in an opera in 2 years at Fort Worth. So we can't wait for that too. It's one of the actors on stage is going to be making sound and from their motion. So here we go. Now we're going to turn the whole image into music. Now it's a little loud, so we might want to turn it down. Hang on a second. Turn it off here. So now I get to hear what I picked out yesterday to wear for the talk today. Ah, nice. I hear red and there we go. Let's hear more red. Yeah, okay. Oh, blue guitar, yeah, I like that. How about the socks? Check out the socks. Oh yeah. And steel drums for the green. So, now if I put this on, I look around the room, dark, low, nice, dark, low. I'm thinking, what am I learning? So when I was driving to work the other day, I had this on my dashboard. Don't you have one? and I was surprised because all of a sudden I heard banjo. And I realized, oh, there is purple in the sky. It's a morning. It's a beautiful morning. So can we hear the athletes in the next Olympics as music? Can it be now accessible to maybe 1 million more people who are blind? Can the beauty of their movements? Can we hear the face of our loved one or the face of our changing planet? And can we hear the hidden truths that are written and embedded in the heart of all that is? What do you think? Thank you.